Hey guys, what's going on? Tyrauku here, and today we're going to be talking about yours truly, Ninja. So, as of just a few hours ago, Ninja has just now become available. Before this, the only time we had seen Ninja, the champion, in action was when Ninja, the streamer, was playing him on his stream. Granted, Ninja doesn't really play Raid that much, so the showcase on stream may not have been a full explanation, just kind of a little bit of an idea of what he could do. Now, first off, it says he's not able to be summoned from shards. Apparently, he's going to likely just be a limited event. I don't know if they have plans to ever bring him back into the game. So if you have any alt accounts, maybe you want to make an alt account, it may not be a bad idea. So you can go ahead and secure Ninja, because all you have to do is log in for 7 days, right? I mean, it's a guaranteed free legendary. I'm going to be logging into any accounts that I may play in the future or that I may give away so that they can have Ninja, just in case he is a truly limited time summon. I mean, a year down the road, this can be pretty cool to have a limited champion in the account. Now, if you look at the reviews, don't trust these. I mean, he's been out for a few hours, okay? Now, this video is going to be about first impressions, and only take this with a grain of salt, basically, okay? Don't take this as the end all be all. This is the truth, okay? Like I said, he's been out for a few hours. Nobody's going to have an in-depth full guide to Ninja yet because he's just not been tested that much. There's champions like, well, all the time that are found to be significantly better than once thought, and their skills haven't even changed at all, right? So they end up fitting in something somewhere in the game. But I do want to talk about him. I've tested him out a little bit. I did switch over my Herndig's gear and put it onto Ninja. Now, Ninja has a few different ways you could build him, but the way I chose to is basically just heavy damage, okay? He has 133 accuracy. I can swap the banner. I might actually go ahead and do that just so we can get a decent idea for maybe some dungeon runs. I'll go ahead and put some accuracy on him for the banner. So 229, he should apply some decent debuffs because he does have some pretty awesome debuffs, but I did not book him. And I want to go ahead and say a big reason why I'm doing this video is because so many times on stream today, which is twitch.tv/Tyrauku. If you guys want to check it out, I stream every day except for Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern time currently. That may change, but feel free to swing by. Now on stream, I had a lot of people today before Ninja was released, keep in mind, asking, should they take Ninja to 60? Should they 6-star him? And is he worth the books? Well, nobody's played him, so it's really hard to say. If you're somebody who's very conservative about your resources, I would highly suggest not investing into Ninja yet until you can see or until you experience kind of what he can do, okay? Because especially if you're free to play, resources do not come easy. In these books, I'm not going to use it even till CVC, but this is what, 15 books he needs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 books, which if you go right here, you can see exactly how many books he needs with this instant power pack, which coincidentally is exactly enough to boost your newfound Ninja to max level, okay? So I personally would hold off on books. I'm not investing books. And if you are low on chickens, low on 5-star champions, I don't think I would invest in him yet if your account's in the spot where you may need other champions. However, there are a few situations, and I've tested Ninja a little bit. I'm going to go running him through some arenas, some dungeons, and I'll show you guys kind of what he can do, the way I have him built currently. But there's some ways that would kind of make sense to have Ninja leveled up and built. Also, if you're a brand new player and you got Ninja, say you're day 7, okay? So say you've made a brand new account. If you get Ninja on day 7, it's going to be difficult to book him out, right? Like, you're not going to have 13 legendary books that early in the game. So it's going to take a while. So he may not even be the best idea to book up as a campaign farmer. So I may do that at the end of this video. I may throw him into like some really low level gear if I can get it on him, maybe unequip some of my stuff, see if I can get him to be pretty low and see if he can do brutal. I imagine he can do brutal without too much of an issue. However, if this is not booked, it's a 5-turn cooldown and this is a random 3 enemies. So he may actually have a fairly slow time farming brutal campaign. Actually, let's go ahead and see that with full gear, okay? So this would basically be, and my frames are unlimited right now, so this will basically be the fastest you could expect Ninja to farm, unless he's fully booked, right? So this would be the fastest unless he was fully booked. So we'll go ahead and try this out. I tried him in Nightmare. It didn't work. Now, that's not saying that he won't work in Nightmare by no means, because he probably will, right? I mean, if you geared him out specifically, but not super realistic. Now, this is where it's kind of an issue, is right here where he doesn't have an AoE, right? So he's going to farm it about 15 seconds, probably, somewhere around there. Brutal, if you have him built pretty well, maybe in lifesteal gear, he's gonna be okay. 15 seconds, okay. I mean, your starter champion can do that, right? Kale in a similar gear can do that. which if I had the correct masteries on Ninja, maybe he could do 10 seconds, okay? Maybe 10 seconds would be his max, but it's nothing crazy. And like, unlike Herndig, where Herndig's a really good champion for farming because his gear is really good, but he just cycles through everything so quickly that it helps him out a lot, okay? Ninja just doesn't seem to have that, which, like I said, take this whole video with a grain of salt because, like I said, I haven't been able to test him out a ton. However, I think this is a decent showcase for what I currently have. Now, for his masteries, I only went offense. I haven't gone support or defense just yet. I will probably go some defense for counterattack for the arena, but most likely support for like dungeon areas. Now, dungeon areas is where I think he'll shine a little bit more. And I'll jump in there and kind of explain where I think he could be beneficial if you're struggling with a certain spot of the game. Before we do that, let's look at his abilities real quick and I'll kind of go over this. So A1 attacks one enemy, and there's a few interesting things about this that I don't really like, and I'll show it in a second. Has a 45% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. Also fills this champion's turn meter by 15% when used against bosses. So this makes him a little bit tricky when used in a speed-tuned clan boss team because you have to include this 15% turn meter boost. So that means you can't really use relentless gear, because if you're using relentless gear and getting those extra turns, then you're going to be using your A1 more frequently, right? You can't really use certain abilities, certain masteries. It's just a little bit more complicated. And I'm not saying he won't work. I think he will get fitted into a clan boss team eventually. But if it's a speed tuned team, he's going to have a little bit of a difficult time. Now, his A2, the next one's a little bit weird. So his A2 is attacks 3 times at random. Each hit has a 75% chance of placing HP burn debuff for 3 turns, which is pretty cool. Also places Perfect Veil on this champion for 2 turns. When used against bosses, will instantly activate any HP burn debuffs, including HP burn debuffs placed by this skill. So if you use this on Spider, it's random who he attacks, so it may or may not hit the Spider, and it doesn't activate all HP burns, it only activates the HP burn on that target. So if you use it on Spider, it doesn't really matter. If you have somebody who guarantees HP burn to be placed, he'll activate 3 of them, give you a little bit of extra damage, and it's nice. Now this third ability is, I would love to see it fixed. I would love to see it not necessarily fixed because I think it's working as intended, but I would love to see it tweaked, okay? So it says attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing a freeze debuff for 1 turn. When this is that part, great, okay? Booked up to 100%, 4-turn cooldown when booked, perfect. But when targeting a boss, will only attack the boss, not all enemies, and will ignore 50% of the target's defense, will also decrease the cooldown of his A3 ability. Now, this ability, a lot of people before testing Ninja thought that this ability basically would attack the boss, get this benefit, and then do this attacks all enemies and place a freeze on everybody. However, that's not the case. Now, granted, my Ninja is not fully booked, but we can go in here and see, because I tried him out on this, just with Tyrant and Ninja, but there's no resists. We have, 11 Spiderlings, so there's no way he's missing the chance to place it on all of them. I mean, it's a 75% chance of placing it, right? But what's happening is when you target the boss, and I'll show you guys 2 different examples, okay? So target the boss, nothing, no freezes anywhere. Now, we're going to waste some energy, guys. So if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to leave a like, drop a comment. Are you going to boost Ninja? Are you going to level him to 60? Where are you finding use for him at? And subscribe to the channel. We're getting super close to 8,000 subscribers, so thank you all very much for that. Now, back to wasting energy. So use the HP burn from Tyrant once more. There's no real reason to even use this HP burn, to be honest, because what I'm showcasing doesn't have any impact on that. Now, if I target a Spiderling instead of the big spider, now we have the freezes. So if they just made that change to where Ninja could target the bosses and then freeze everything else, that'd be perfect. But currently, as it stands, the spot in the game that people thought that he would have a lot of uses, he could just be built tanky, like a shock, right? 100% chance to freeze, but it just doesn't work, right? So the Spider's Den is not really a place for Ninja. However, the areas I do think that people can get benefit from him, more so if you fully book him, would be dungeons, okay? So if you're a player who has the extra books, you are struggling going through the dungeon waves, then Ninja would bring a freeze that could help you out, right? Like that freeze ability, 100% chance to land it, it's very nice. It's going to be a 4-turn cooldown. He does get turn meter boost from this. So, I mean, I imagine he would be cycling through his stuff pretty quickly. Maybe throw him in a relentless set, so he'd be cycling through stuff even faster. More A1 hits, going to even be better and better. This A3 reduces the cooldown of his A2. So you're going to get some nice cooldown reductions there. It's going to be 3-turn cooldown. And he's going to cycle through stuff pretty quickly for sure. And his book value is decent, right? His A2 ability, buff and debuff chance boosted up a total of 25%, taken to 100%. A3, same thing, 25%, taking this up to 100%. Cooldown reduction. So if you can get the A2, mainly the A3 fully booked, that would be worth it. I would try to stick with, if you get this personally, I would try to hopefully get this one booked if I was really wanting to use them. But obviously you can't choose where your books go, right? So you can't pick and choose, but if I could pick, this is where I would put it at. Now, my build, I didn't actually show this, Savage Gear, his base attack is pretty good. So 5,200 total attack. Now I do have attack percent boots on. The banner is an attack, so he could get to 6,000 attack. My build, granted, is probably a little bit further than a lot of people who I'm talking to in this video, being newer players deciding whether or not they want to build him, but this is kind of what you could expect. Now, what I was talking about going through dungeon stages is if you need somebody to control the waves, Ninja's a solid option, right? Because he'll do that freeze 100% chance. Get him fast enough, he'll cycle through. Now, granted, freeze does make the enemy take less damage, but I think he's going to be a pretty good wave clear. But the reason why I can't like super strongly promote that is because there's a lot of champions who are also pretty good wave clear champions, right? Like there's Hermdig. Hermdig's an amazing wave clear champion. So it's difficult to say, okay, Ninja's going to be amazing for your account, because currently I don't see him like shining way above anybody else. Hermdig, I've made videos about him. I think he's a great champion. Biggin, great champion, which Biggin's not a fusion, okay? But Brogni, for example, great champion. Recommend majority of people to build him. Ninja, I would hold off for a little bit longer personally. This answers all the questions I had on stream today, whether or not you should build Ninja. I would personally hold off if you're tight on resources. I mean, you can see here, he's doing decent amount of damage, okay? Now, this is Dragon 24, so he's strong affinity here, which is nice. It's going to be fairly quick. Granted, Ninja's going to die fairly easily because he's just not made to take a ton of hits. Here, he's actually doing pretty decent staying alive. We'll see what the damage looks like after this run. Like I said, he's going to do good clearing the waves. He's going to do pretty decent damage on the bosses, but I don't think he's going to be like the #1 key to any fastest speed runs. I do think he can be involved in your dungeon teams if you have a hard time making it through the waves. If you need a good nuke champion, a good champion to clean up after your, say, War Maiden does decreased defense on all the enemies, perfect. If you're lacking good nukes like I used to have a hard time doing damage because I had so many support champions but no nuke champions. If you're lacking that kind of stuff, Ninja, I believe, could definitely help you out and fit into your account. But if you have clears and you clear the areas of dungeons and maybe you're tight on resources, I'm not for sure if Ninja's going to be a huge boost to most people's account. I mean, it just really depends on where you're at, okay? So maybe if you're watching this, maybe you can get an idea. Let's see what he does on the boss right here, okay? So it's hopefully we can get a decreased defense from Ghostborn. Nope, so no decreased defense from there. And then we'll jump into the arena. So the arena is kind of what he's built for right now. It's kind of what he's geared for. I tested him out a little bit earlier. His damage was decent. Like, he's going to one-shot most people, right? I mean, he's not a bad champion by no means. He has pretty decent multipliers, and his gear is pretty solid. I'd say it's probably above average gear. It's my best attack-based Savage gear, actually. So that's decent. He's going to hit pretty hard in the arena either way. I think he was hitting for like close to 100,000 damage, somewhere around there. So 49 seconds, not bad. But there's other champions who could do pretty similar, right? So 49 seconds with him. I forget what my fastest team was. I throw Royal Guard in there. Be an easy little swap. Let's see, just a little test, okay? Just to see if I'm correct or not. So 45 seconds with Ninja. Let's just test the RG and see how he makes this work. So we didn't one-shot the first wave. Unfortunately, my Royal Guard apparently is not geared that well. But we'll jump into the arena after this. And then for Clan Boss, I'm not going to test Clan Boss because I don't have a team built and ready for him. If you're speed tuned, it's going to be a little more difficult. But if you're early game, you're not speed tuned, maybe throw him in lifesteal gear. He should be okay. He should be able to keep himself alive pretty well. He's going to be going pretty frequently. And you could probably get him to work pretty decent on the Clan Boss, especially earlier on, right? I mean, you just need to do damage. It's not that difficult to get 1 key or whatever on easy and normal, right? So we're doing this in pretty similar time, to be honest. Granted, Royal Guard and Seer hit for a lot of damage together, and boom, 43 seconds. So technically a little bit quicker, but it is what it is, right? Royal Guard's a beast, great champion. So this may share a little bit, maybe not a ton. Either way, Ninja is a champion. So far, I think he's decent. Let's go ahead and jump into the arena, see what he does there. Now, obviously, Faction Wars, he's going to be useful there, right? Like for Shadowkin, that's not saying a whole lot, though. Saying a champion's useful in Faction Wars is kind of like saying, I don't know, they can farm Brutal Campaign. Madame Sayers can farm Brutal Campaign, right? I think she can. I'm not 100% sure. I need to test that out, maybe. All right, so uses A2 from Kaimar. Ninja's a little bit slow, so I gotta, gotta sleep everybody. So he uses A3. Let's go ahead and see what this hits for. Decent team. He probably weak hit over here. Let's see. So we're getting hits for 101,000. Like I said, I mean, he hits decent, right? 101,000. Decent hit. Probably best 187,000 damage total, which granted, everybody died. Well, majority of people died, so only says so much. Let's use his A2 this time. Like I said, I don't love that it's a random enemies because sometimes I want to attack a specific enemy, like in the arena, right? Like I want to target, say, the Arbiter or something, okay? So I wish it was like attack one enemy, attacks your target, and then attacks 3 random, but it may miss Arbiter completely. So it doesn't even touch Arbiter there. See, I wanted to kill her. That's just kind of weird when you it doesn't feel as good when you use an ability that you can't pick who you're targeting, right? It just doesn't feel as good. Because in this case, it's like, well, the champion I wanted to kill, who's gonna res the rest of the team, is now still alive, and I can't kill her. Let's see what his A1 hits for against Drexstar. His A1's a single hit, I believe. So provoke, okay, so 17,000 damage. I don't know. What do you guys think? 17,000 damage. Do this one more time. We gotta go ahead and kill this guy. He's thinking, yeah, this level 100 person with a plat avatar is hitting me and not able to beat me. I'm a pro. That's funny. But yeah, so we gotta beat this guy this time. Hopefully. Maybe not. All right, so A3 once more here. Let's see what happens. Boom, 72K. Got the freeze off. So that is a benefit. If you get that fully booked, he will get the freeze each time. And I do see value in that in the arena for sure, right? You're getting a constant freeze applied to the enemy. Madam strips everybody, because then once Ninja takes his turn, then they're going to all be frozen ideally. So you could cycle back around to Ninja again. So you could keep up damage pretty well with him, especially if you had Kaimar. You could plan out the sleep, have Ninja run really slow, Madam strip him, Ninja freeze everybody, and then Kaimar reset. Same thing, another freeze, and then that A2 ability hopefully cleans people up. I'm just wondering if you can get him to do enough damage to really wipe out those heavy, hardcore tank teams, right? So this one, not gonna be super tanky, but either way, like I said, the arena, he's gonna do decent damage, okay? Decent damage, definitely champions who hit a lot harder, being Hermdig, but it just really all comes down to what your expectations are when using Ninja. I would definitely take in consideration, maybe if you're tight on resources, like I mentioned in the very beginning of this video, look around a little bit before investing in Ninja. Personally, I would, if I wasn't making this video, I would not have invested in Ninja yet. I would give it a little bit more time. There may come some things that he works really, really well in, but currently, I think he's a pretty good progressional champion, has a very good CC with being freeze on his A3 ability for waves and dungeons, has good AoE damage. Unfortunately, that doesn't work on spiders. If it's fixed, he's going to be a lot better. His A2 ability could be decent, could have some extra damage on the clan boss, allowing this HP burn to be activated. But overall, this, if you can get this scale up, once again, on clan boss, can be really good. But overall, I think he's a champion who, at niche uses, not going to be used a ton on my account, but for some people's account, he could work pretty well. I don't think you should necessarily jump the gun and invest all your resources in him just yet. Like I said, though, guys, let me know down in the comment section, what do you think about Ninja? Are you going to invest in him? Is he exceeding your expectations, or did he fall short, or did he meet them exactly what you figured he would? So thank you all very much for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.